Time to rank my favorite fucking band. Y'all ready for this? Alright, so this is my favorite band right here, 9 Inch Nails. I have all of their albums right here for my liking. And we're going to start with Pretty Hate Machine, 1989. This is my favorite fucking band. Got them tatted right here in my arm. And own pretty much all the CDs and vinyls along with it. Been a 9 Inch Nail fan for a couple years now, but ever since I discovered them, been stuck on this fucking band since. I love Trent Reznor. I love all these albums. Even his scores for like Gone Girl, Social Network. Just got done watching Bones and All, and he scored that one. Good fucking movie along with a good score. Trent never disappoints. Along with his production, lyrics, vocals, this is the only artist I know that tears it up in every single department. And this guy right here produces and handles his own work. So this right here is a fucking businessman, and he's my favorite artist. So we're going to start with Pretty Hate Machine, 1989. Usually my rankings go from A to F because S, I'm not sure what the fuck that is. So with A, that's going to be Pretty Hate Machine. Let me spark up. Now with Pretty Hate Machine, this is the first album by 9 Inch Nails, along with the sexy, smooth side, electronic side, smooth synths. And this is one album where, with 9 Inch Nails, we'll get to the rest, but every fucking song on this thing is just smooth and just fits together and is perfect. Every song on this thing is perfect. First song they ever dropped, Head Like a Hole, still holds up to this day. Saw 9 Inch Nails live in September for their Las Vegas Zappos Theater tour. For their 2022 tour, but I saw them in Vegas at Zappos Theaters. And they played that one. And that shit right there is fucking just pure dopeness right there. I love that shit. Terrible Lie, Down in It. Something I Can Never Have. You know what's another song I really like on this thing that doesn't get enough credit is That's What I Get. Love that fucking song. I know like the vocals in the first half, people want to say it's whiny and this and that, but fuck that, you know what I mean? I don't give a fuck what they say. That's a banging fucking track. Ring Finger and Get Down, Make Love. Great fucking album by the boys, or by Trent, and I love the artwork to this thing. That's another thing with 9 Inch Nails that I love is their artworks. So this one right here, I love the pink, and then the remastered got like a gray blue tone to it. So good fucking artworks. Next up, we got Broken, A category. For an EP, this is fucking amazing right here. A lot more. It's shorter than Pretty Hate Machine for sure. It's an EP, so it's gonna be shorter in length. But this thing right here is where Trent Reznor switched up and just went straight pissed. Fucking just angry, aggression. This is probably the most angriest songs by 9 Inch Nails right here on Broken. I know that there is a Broken Stuff film that is banned in the United States. If you can get a hold of that on the internet, check that out because that's a fucking piece of work right there. Pretty much like a torture film, some black and white. Some songs are in color, some are black and white. And it's a pretty dope fucking stuff film. Definitely fits the sound on this EP. The visuals go along with it really fucking good. It's pretty much Hostile, but by Trent Reznor, so there you go. Next up, we got Downward Spiral, known as their best album. This one right here, A category, of course, Mr. Self-Destruct. We get one of their biggest songs also, Closer. But other than that, this one right here is really fucking versatile. This may be maybe the most versatile 9 Inch Nail project. But as a whole, this is just a fucking depression. Even when Trent Reznor says it's about someone trying to find solitude through sex, drugs, just things like that, and for somebody in their 20s, you know, I mean, it fits, you know. For somebody just that has a drug problem and loves to have sex himself, it fits, you know. Good fucking project. I'm a big fan of Reptile. I love all the songs, but Reptile and Hurt, you got Hurt on this thing, probably one of the best closers on any album ever. So this is a pretty impactful album right here. It's one of those where if you talk to a lot of Nine Inch Nails fans, they're probably going to say this is their favorite album, this is their best album, which is totally understandable, but it's not my favorite album by Nine Inch Nails. It got some of their best work, of course, but there's just one more album that I think is just the best by them, and that's coming up. But as for Downward Spiral, this is a great fucking body of work too. If you check out the deluxe version, you get some really good demos on here too for most of the tracks. You also get Burn and Dead Souls for a Crow soundtrack. So good sounding shit on here. I love the electronic sound that's really on this thing. Real classic old school gaming sound. Kind of sounds like those Sega days where, you know, those songs just really sounded just, you know, real staticky, real staticky melodies and whatnot, you know, like how the Segas used to have. Trent Reznor's really good about bringing just that electronic synth sound and making it just sound chaotic, and that's what he does on this thing right here. This is pretty much Broken, but in a professional album form. It's a good follow-up, continuation from Broken, but then this is where Trent pretty much hit his downward spiral for sure. He pretty much just took 5 years off working with Manson for his Antichrist Superstar. He did some work for Lost Highway for The Perfect Drug. He worked on Quake, the video game soundtrack, which is also on streaming services. If you guys want to check that out, really hardcore, dark, scary music for a video game. Also, the video game is really fucking dope too. It's pretty much like Doom and Duke Nukem, you know, but a lot more scarier and serious. You know, in a dark atmosphere and castles and, you know, just crazier monsters and shit like that. And also, there's some Nine Inch Nail logos in the game. So, not just him scoring. The game pretty much feels like it's based for Trent Reznor a little bit, you know. So, I thought that was really cool right there. It feels like you can play a game being Trent killing monsters and listen to some fucking soundtracks by him. So, I thought that's actually really dope. With the music he makes, it fits really good in scary movies, scary games, all that stuff. So if you haven't seen that, go and check out Quake, play it, or, you know, it's on Xbox, it's on, you know, I'm not sure what console that started off, but go and check it out, you know. All right, next out, we got The Fragile. This is my favorite album by Nine Inch Nails. Seeing this album live, seeing Trent just perform some of these songs live in front of me was just fucking memorable. This is my favorite album ever right here. Not even by Nine Inch Nails, in general. Just the vibe that this thing puts you in, just like no other. I really think when albums have songs that fit together as a whole, there's no other album that does it better than Fragile. This thing literally just feels like a movie. And it is in the length of a movie. I believe this is an hour and 40-minute album. So it's pretty much a movie right there for you. I'm telling you. For it being a double CD, I was hearing that, you know, this album kind of got some criticism for being too long and for whatever it is. But for Trent to take 5 years to release another album and we get 22 songs on a double album, I don't fucking see what the problem is at all. Like, that makes complete sense. Within that time, that's pretty much 2 albums worth of a gap right there. That's a 2-album gap right there. And for him to just drop 2 albums and a double album at once, I don't see nothing wrong with that. I think that's a brilliant idea. Hit him over the head with 22 new songs all at once, and then just have everybody just be stuck on nails listening to a double album, taking their time to figure out this project into, you know, like, it took me such a long time. Till this day, I don't think I have The Fragile figured out all the way. That's what makes Nine Inch Nails music so great. It really keeps you coming back, figuring out more, figuring out what the lyrics meant, figuring out all the sounds into the songs. You know, there's so much production into each song where it's like, I feel like, you know, I'm missing something. And when you hear it, you hear something new through car speakers, through headphones, through the phone speaker, through the TV, whatever it is. This album right here just always sounds great to me, you know. And I really think when it comes to bodies of work by Nine Inch Nails, this is their best body of work. I love just this era with Trent. I love the look of him, just the lineup of the band was perfect. Danny Lohner, Jerome Dillon, Robin Fink, just everybody that was just fucking killing it. The DVD that they put together for this, and all that could have been. With Downward Spiral, we got Closer, which is, you know, a good VHS, which is behind the scenes, more, you know, behind the scenes footage and live footage, good combination on DVD. And all that could have been, that's just pure live performances, just pure art, just shows, all that stuff. We also get bonus footage with extra songs on there. You have to do like a little cheat code on the remote to get some extra songs, which I think is really cool. Just like Nine Inch Nails' approach is just so secretive and just makes you work for it. I love it. It's like if you want to hear some extra songs, do this cheat code, and then, you know, like he makes you work for it a little bit, and I like that. It kind of just feels so classical. It feels like everything's like in a video game format or something, and that's dope, you know. I feel like, you know, like in a way where you listen to this music, you can kind of control your own journey on where you want to take yourself. You know, a lot of these lyrics have so many different meanings where they can mean so many things, where I'm sure a lot of people have their own interpretations of this album, because it's a real fucking body of work. You know, I think like the first half CD1 fits really good as a whole, and then CD2 pretty much slows down a little bit. That's where it gets on the darker side. That's where it feels more serious. It doesn't feel as, you know, the first half feels real catchy, you know. We get like those wearing this together just like you imagined. And then the second half, you know, starts to slow down with the big come down. I'm looking forward to joining you, right with Decay. So it's a good flow all throughout the album. Not all these songs sound the same. You know, great switch ups, and the instrumentations on this album is at its fucking best. There's nothing I can just really keep going on this album. The live performances on this album are also best. Nine Inch Nails is one of those bands where when he performs live, it sounds fucking better most of the time, really. He really carries the sound and brings it live, you know, and with visuals too. And I think with the Fragile is what Nine Inch Nails does best. This album right here is executed at its best, and just hearing Trent just be hesitant and for this to be the roughest time for him, he put out the best body of work I've ever heard, in my opinion. I love this fucking album. Next up, we got With Teeth. Now, again, pretty much a 5-year gap. 2005, we got With Teeth. Now, With Teeth is definitely in the A category as well, because what I love about this album is Trent is sober on this thing, and I didn't check this thing out in 2005, so I wasn't around to kind of hear people's criticism, people's reaction. I wasn't around in that year to kind of like hear just the commentary of this album. So checking this thing out probably fucking 15 years later, and going back and hearing what people say about it and this and that, really, for Trent to be sober on this thing and for him to be working pretty much, you know, what is this, about 15 years already, just working high, just being an alcoholic, being high on cocaine all the time, and just functioning off drugs day to day, making music, touring, just day to day. That's your life. And to be able to fucking stop that and to be able to keep the art going, that is some hard shit right there. You don't hear that at all in this project. Now, you would expect for somebody, you know, with some artists, I'm not going to, you know, throw anybody under the bus and say anybody in particular, but some artists really can't handle that. If you take their drugs away from them, that's really you taking their tool away from them. And it's going to be really hard for them to function. And sometimes either they're not going to make music at all, or the music's just not going to be that fucking good. And that's sad to say, because sometimes drugs can really be the fuel for their fires. And for With Teeth, Trent Reznor proved that he does not need drugs and alcohol to be able to produce, function, perform, scream, and just all that, really. This is really up there with The Fragile with me. There's nothing wrong with this album. I love the concept of this thing. This really, he really dances around his addiction that he had. You know, that he really talks about the temptations, really, that, you know, that the addiction, that, you know, just what comes along with the addictions, you know, that he may be still tempted, but he doesn't still use. You know, and just the references he uses, especially on the title track, With Teeth, he talks about that in that track. Every day is exactly the same, you know, feeling sober and feeling like you got the same lifestyle, you know, just day after day. He talks about that. Even on the track, Love Is Not Enough, if I'm not mistaken, that might be about Marilyn Manson. You know, if you heard about Marilyn Manson and Trent Reznor's beef of them, Trent Reznor smashed Marilyn Manson's USB that had the masters of Antichrist Superstar on there. And if you hear the lyrics of that song, I really think he's talking about Marilyn Manson on that thing, where I feel like he's just talking about, like, smashing something up and then just, you know, having to redeem yourself after and stuff like that. Like, underneath, we're not so tough. So maybe not, but by the sound of their beef and the story of their beef, it kind of fits. So, I mean, that's just me. You know, I could be wrong, but somebody listen to that and tell me what you think. Is that about Marilyn Manson? What do you think? And we also get The Line Begins to Blur. That is a fucking mean track right there. That right there is one of those that sounds great in headphones and even better live. Having the DVD beside you in time, they do With Teeth on there, and it's fucking killer, I'm telling you. Twiggy is on there from Marilyn Manson, and speaking of Twiggy, you know, he was really, I've been finding out what he's been doing recently, and that motherfucker has been putting in work, I'm telling you. Starting off with Marilyn Manson, and then working with Perfect Circle, which is also a great band, and then touring live with 9 Inch Nails. Like, that guy really puts his hands into, like, some of my favorite bands. So shout out to Twiggy, because I'm telling you, that guy right there, his name is in some good fucking songs. So yeah, you know, pretty much every song on this thing is fucking great. Even having All the Love in the World, the first track. Now, with 9 Inch Nails, usually their first track gives you the vibe of what we're going to get. And All the Love in the World really is just one of those where, like, just the way that song transforms in the end, really fucking creative. The pianos on this thing really stand out. Only is great. The Hand That Feeds. This is one of those that really feels garage punk rock. You know, if you see the music videos, it looks like they're in a warehouse just rocking out, which is just dope. It looks like they're rehearsing, having fun, and that's what this album is, just fucking fun. And shout out Trent for being sober, because I'm telling you, beating that addiction's fucking rough. With Teeth, A+. Next up, we got Year Zero. Now, one thing I can really give Year Zero credit for is the concept of this thing. This thing is based in 2022, where drugs are filtered into the water supply, fucking terrorist attacks, all kinds of, like, just crazy futuristic shit. And when 9 Inch Nails, it makes sense. And just having the electronic futuristic sound sounding just like Star Wars a little bit. Maybe not Star Wars, but, just having like that real dope electronic sound, Year Zero is probably their, I was going to say their longest album, but it being a single album, yeah, their longest album being a single album. And this is one of those where Nine Inch Nails is, you have to play top to bottom. You can't. This is a movie band, really. And starting off with Hyperpower, good way. Feels like you're plugging something in, getting the power, something turning on right away. Even the cover being, just that cover, somebody being behind the wheel, looking over just this hand falling from the sky. Crazy shit. Listening to this album off Mushrooms, I also seen another side of this album, listening to God Given. Real crazy shit, I'm telling you. Felt like I was having like a disco. It was like just the whole sky was a disco club. And just that, just felt like that hand was just coming down and just rocking out with me and whatnot. Crazy fucking vibes. In This Twilight, Zero Sum, Meet Your Master, Me I'm Not. Me I'm Not is probably the best song on this thing. And hearing that song live is even fucking better. That is a badass track right there. The bass of that thing and just the end of that thing where he kind of just gives you this electronic solo. Badass shit. Year Zero, I put it in B. This is the first B for the band. Still a solid album, there's nothing wrong with this thing, but I just put it as B because it just doesn't meet up to Pretty Hate, Broken, Downward, Fragile, and With Teeth. Those albums are fucking masterpieces, and Year Zero needs to be a masterpiece to meet up to that. It's still golden, but like I said, it's just hard to meet up to those albums. Next up, Trent Reznor Nine Inch Nails did release Ghost. I didn't put this in the ranking because I wanted to do just solid albums. Even though, not to say this isn't a solid album, it's all instrumentations. If I were to throw it in there, I'm going to throw that in C again because great instrumentations on there, a solid vibe. One of those albums that I play rarely because I like to play it when it rains. And living in Fresno, it's always fucking hot as hell here. So, that's rare as hell. So, but whenever I find out time to check out Ghost and all that, I'm always checking out Ghost 10, Ghost 17, 22, 7. There's some great shit on here. And I'm going to keep that at C because I think it fits well just in the middle because it being instrumentals, it's going to be hard to kind of top concept albums up top. So that's going to be C. But next up, we got The Slip. Now with The Slip, this is pretty much, it feels like a mixture of an EP and an album. It's a little shorter than Year Zero. But what I like about, my likes and dislikes. Okay, so my likes about this is I like how this album really feels like Trent is experimenting more. He's just doing something different. It sounds like he's beatboxing more. A lot of these songs feel like Ruiner off a Downward Spiral. And with songs like Demon Seed, The Four of Us Are Dying, Discipline, pretty straightforward shit on here. The lyrics aren't really I wouldn't say this album is as deep as With Teeth, Fragile, all that. At this point, these are pretty fun lyrics right here. Discipline and Echoplex and all that. With also great production. Great experimenting sounds on this thing. Nothing sounds flat. The instrumental on The Four of Us Are Dying, I love that shit. And for Trent doing Letting You live, I really see the significance behind that now. Seeing that song live is fucking hype. And the first two tracks really lead well into together, and just with bursts of energy just hitting you right in the tooth. And then in the middle, it starts to slow down with Lights in the Sky, Corona Radiator. And, but as a whole, these 10 tracks, it's a good album. I would say it fits right next to Year Zero. I wouldn't say it's next to Ghost and C. Just because, like I said, there's still great sounds on here. Trent sounds great on this thing. Pretty much the lyrics are pretty much just having fun at this point. Not at this point. I hate to say that, Trent never takes a break or slacks in any departments, but just not as deep, nothing that's, never mind. I hate to kind of like, say that this album doesn't have anything meaningful, because Nine Inch Nails is, but if you just hear this thing, it sounds like the Pretty Hate Machine days, having fun, experimenting with sounds. And I'm just glad that he dropped the project at this point, because, this is where Trent was really taking a break. After Slip, he was getting married. He was taking a break for personal things, which is really understandable. I get that. For him being a sober man, getting his life together, all that. I get it. Around this time, he was even working on The Social Network, composing with film. So, like I said, really switching things up, doing things differently. And then, within that, we got Hesitation Marks. Now, with Hesitation Marks, that is going to be B as well. Now, why I put that in the B is because, again, a great fucking album, but it's hard to beat Downward Spiral and Fragile. As an album, this is a great fucking body of work. I love this album. I love listening to it at night. Year Zero is one of those I play during the day, just because it has that energy feel to it, where it gives you that productive feel, where you just want to tear some shit up during the day. Hesitation Marks is a good closer at night. It's a good album to listen to in the car. It's a good album to smoke weed to. It just gives you that dark dance feel to it, really. I know for a lot of Nine Inch Nails fans, this probably isn't in their top, but with me, I'm really listening to this thing as much as with Teeth, Downward Spiral, and Fragile. I really am. I love All Time Low. I love Satellite. I love I Would For You. Again, having the opener of The Eater of Dreams, good electronic little sounds, and then just slips into Copy of a. And then the album ends with Black Noise. This fucking just being thrown into this pit. Just feels like we're dead now. And, yeah. Trent kills it on this fucking thing. It's definitely on the slower side. The production is not as crazy. But I love the lyrics and the feel to this album. Like I said, it has that real disco sound to it. Kind of like how Closer, the second half of Closer, where it's just instrumentation. That's how this album feels. I love that shit. This is one of those where I personally like listening to by myself, because it really puts me in that trance, and I don't want to be disrupted. I don't want to be disturbed. I just feel like zoning out to this thing, and just sing, especially. So, with that being said, I'm going to keep that in B. Nothing wrong with it. Just as good as Year Zero, as a Slip. But, again, can't beat Fragile, With Teeth, and etc. Next up, we're getting EPs from Nine Inch Nails now. We got these 3 EPs each year. One in 2016. This is not the actual events. I love this fucking EP. This is Trent sounding pissed off again, bringing back just that chaotic sound, really distorted voices. And I'm a big fan of Dear World. I'm telling you. Again, a crazy nighttime song. She's Gone Away. Real fucking scary song. The Idea of You. We got Dave Grohl doing the drums. Real straightforward rock song. Trent tearing it up. Branches and Bones. Even a great opener. Burning Bright. Probably one of the most demented Nine Inch Nail closer, if I might say. Good shit on here. 5 songs, 21 minutes, but as a whole, this is a fucking crazy EP. I like this shit. And as an EP, it is really fucking good. And I'm going to keep that in B. That is going to be next to the albums Year Zero, Hesitation. This is some good shit. There's nothing wrong with it. All 5 songs they fit just really well. Really well. Next up, we got Add Violence. More on the electronic synth side. Less Than, really good song live. The Lovers, really slowed down. Again, great vibe. This Isn't the Place, Not Anymore. The Background World. I would say this is, I'm a bigger fan of not the actual events, but Add Violence is still a good body of work. I just like the aggression, not the actual events has, that Nine Inch Nails does best. With Trent screams, and I'm telling you, Trent has some of my favorite vocals and screams. And on Add Violence, lacking in that just a little bit. But other than that, the beats are solid, the lyrics are dope. It just sounds great for an EP. I'm going to keep that in B. Last EP by Nails. And I know he dropped Ghost, but I'm not going to include those. He dropped Ghost, Locust, and Together. But I'm just going to end it on Bad Witch. Now, with Bad Witch, this is a good combination between Not the Actual Events and Add Violence. Shit Mirror, Ahead of Ourselves. The thing with this one is that it's more on the instrumentation side. There's a lot of points where Trent lets the beats ride and the production ride, gives you that vibe, which I'm always loving by Nine Inch Nails. But some of the vibes where it takes you, leaves you just a little flat sometimes. And with Ahead of Ourselves being one of my favorite ones on here, it's a pretty just straightforward song, This is probably the most straightforward out of the 3. God Break Down the Door. Really, really good standout vocals for Trent. I love the production on that. Atticus and Trent are killing it. But just as, again, but this one has 6 songs. And, but I just think that it could have been filled in a little more, I think. I think if the songs were maybe more vocalized a little more, written longer, maybe just more production. I hate to say that for Nails because that's what they do best, but on this one, it's a solid EP. Nothing bad, but nothing golden, And that's the most recent project we got from Nails. And so yeah, guys, this is my ranking. This is my favorite band. I pretty much love all these albums and EPs. Nothing wrong with them. I love all their bodies of work. Like I said, Fragile is my favorite album by them. So this is just my ranking, guys. If you guys are Nine Inch Nails fans, let me know what you think. What are your favorite albums by Trent? What are your favorite songs by him? Let me know your rankings. I got some more rankings coming up for you guys. So with that to be said, hope you enjoyed. All right, later. So, with that being said, I'm going to keep that in B. Nothing wrong with it. Just as good as Year Zero, as a slip. But, again, can't beat Fragile with Teeth and etc. Next up, we're getting EPs from Nine Inch Nails now. We got these 3 EPs each year. One in 2016. This is Not the Actual Events. I love this fucking EP. This is Trent sounding pissed off again, bringing back just that chaotic sound, really distorted voices. And I'm a big fan of Dear World. I'm telling you. Again, a crazy nighttime song. She's Gone Away. Real fucking scary song. The Idea of You. We got Dave Grohl doing the drums. real straightforward rock song. Trent tearing it up. Branches and Bones, even a great opener. Burning Bright, probably one of the most demented Nine Inch Nail closer, if I might say. Good shit on here. 5 songs, 21 minutes, but as a whole, this is a fucking crazy EP. I like this shit. And as an EP, it is really fucking good. And I'm going to keep that in B. That is going to be next to the albums Year Zero, Hesitation. This is some good shit. There's nothing wrong with it. All 5 songs they fit just really well. Really well. Next up, we got Add Violence. More on the electronic synth side. Less Than, really good song live. The Lovers, really slowed down. Again, great vibe. This Isn't the Place, Not Anymore. The Background World. I would say this is, I'm a bigger fan of not the actual events, but Add Violence is still a good body of work. I just like the aggression, not the actual events has, that Nine Inch Nails does best. With Trent screams, and I'm telling you, Trent has some of my favorite vocals and screams. And on Add Violence, lacking in that just a little bit. But other than that, the beats are solid, the lyrics are dope. It just sounds great for an EP. I'm going to keep that in B. Last EP by Nails. And I know he dropped Ghost, but I'm not going to include those. He dropped Ghost, Locust, and Together. But I'm just going to end it on Bad Witch. Now, with Bad Witch, this is a good combination between Not the Actual Events and Add Violence. Shit Mirror, Ahead of Ourselves. The thing with this one is that it's more on the instrumentation side. There's a lot of points where Trent lets the beats ride and the production ride, gives you that vibe, which I'm always loving by Nine Inch Nails. But some of the vibes where it takes you, leaves you just a little flat sometimes. And with Ahead of Ourselves being one of my favorite ones on here, it's a pretty just straightforward song, This is probably the most straightforward out of the 3. God Break Down the Door. Really, really good standout vocals for Trent. I love the production on that. Atticus and Trent are killing it. But just as, again, but this one has 6 songs. And, but I just think that it could have been filled in a little more, I think. I think if the songs were maybe more vocalized a little more, written longer, maybe just more production. I hate to say that for Nails because that's what they do best, but on this one, it's a solid EP. Nothing bad, but nothing golden, And that's the most recent project we got from Nails. And so yeah, guys, this is my ranking. This is my favorite band. I pretty much love all these albums and EPs. Nothing wrong with them. I love all their bodies of work. Like I said, Fragile was my favorite album by them. So this is just my ranking, guys. If you guys are Nine Inch Nails fans, let me know what you think. What are your favorite albums by Trent? What are your favorite songs by him? Let me know your rankings. I got some more rankings coming up for you guys. So with that to be said, hope you enjoyed. All right. Later.